Hey deckhands, welcome to episode 2 of Get Hype. First, a shout out to those who have subscribed, welcome back, and a welcome also to any of you visiting for the first time. Also, a quick shout out to the fan communities on Tamriel Vault and the Fallout 4 forums for the awesome outlet they provide for discussion and adding depth to some of our favorite games. There will be links to both in the description. This week, we're talking armor, looking at what's been revealed, what's been notably unmentioned, and what some of our options are going to be. The first thing to note is the introduction of armor slots to Fallout. Bethesda hasn't gone to this extent since Morrowind, and it's never been in Fallout. The trailer even showed a bit of what this looks like in-game. Here's an example, where we see a raider with armor on one leg and not on the other. For me, this will be my first time working with this type of armor system, rather than the simple body and head sets of Fallout 3 and New Vegas, or the paired arm and leg sets from Skyrim. One thing I can say for sure about it, I'm hyped. Go figure. There are a few things I think are worth mentioning though. The first I want to touch on is actually combat without armor. The E3 combat montage showed us a few outfits that are just clothes, which are probably base outfits that would replace your standard vault jumpsuit, and which ideally could have armor layered over them. What I'm curious about is the viability of combat without armor in Fallout 4. It was basically suicide in 3 and New Vegas to fight without armor, if you weren't hopped up on every drug under the sun. You would die in a few hits against any reasonably powered enemy, and you'd still need a handful of quickly injected stim packs to survive. And with good reason. But I'm still hoping that Fallout 4 will improve on this, mostly for the sake of roleplay. Back to the armor itself. We haven't seen a whole big selection of armor yet, but there's some solid hints in there. The first scene with the sole survivor turning on the Pip-Boy shows that he's wearing light leather armor, suggesting that at least for that set, we may be able to access medium or heavy sets as well. Later on, when showcasing the Collector's Edition Pip-Boy, we see the same thing applied to combat armor. That is, it's a light variety. So I'm expecting there will be a standard, if not medium and heavy options too. On that note, let's take a look at the modifiers we saw here. One piece is fiberglass, one is reinforced, and 2 are shadowed. Now your guess is as good as mine on what traits we can expect from fiberglass or shadowed armor. I'm actually more curious to know if we'll be able to apply these effects ourselves, a possibility that it looks like Bethesda plans to let the game answer for itself. But we can see how this might work if we review what Bethesda has told us about one of the game's other big features, power armor customization. The footage they gave us was brief, but it clearly showed that each individual part, legs, arms, torso, and helmet, can accommodate a material mod and a miscellaneous mod. Now they only showed a few of the mods themselves, like the Atom Cat, Vault Tech, and military paint jobs, and the helmet headlamp. We can probably count on the jetpack they showed being a miscellaneous torso mod, but that could be something else altogether as well. It wouldn't be out of place to be able to do some of the same things to our regular armor that they're letting us do to power armor. Unlike with weapon crafting, they haven't given us any hint about the number of armor sets or mods we'll be able to find. That said, knowing Bethesda, we've only seen a fraction of these mods, and probably not even all the available power armor chassis. I'm not going to get into the whole power core issue or the question of limited use power armor here, but that is another layer of the armor gameplay to be aware of. But with what we've seen so far and can be sure of, how are you all feeling? Hyped about the new armor mechanics? What are your major concerns? For those who've played Morrowind, are you excited to see this level of armor customization return? I'm really looking forward to see what parts and pieces I can use to deck out my Wasteland heroes and villains, and I hope you all are too. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to check back next week for another episode of Get Hype. This is Daft Pirate, signing off.